Welcome to another video. Hope everyone's doing alright and that. And the start of a new model build. Over the next two videos, we're going to be having a go putting this thing together. The Renault 5 Turbo Rally. Absolutely fantastic. Bit of an 80s icon. I did try and get the GT version, the road going version. But I think because of the new Renault 5 coming out, you can't get them for love nor money. I did see a couple at the Props and Pistons Festival. And they're still a good looking car. French really knew how to make a hot hatch in the 80s. But this is the rally version. Hopefully the decals are going to behave themselves a bit better than they did on the Concorde and that, and I won't have any problems. But it's a Tamiya kit, so I've got my fingers crossed, and I've got high hopes for it. But let's get it out of the box. We'll see what I'll be facing. I'll run you through my little plan, and we'll start seeing a Renault 5 Turbo coming together. It's only my second Tamiya kit, but I'm pretty impressed again with how everything's laid out and the quality of the parts and that. There's no bits of odd plastic hanging off bits and that. Everything's nicely well defined. But my plan for this part is to get the floor pan and the interior done like I normally do. Hopefully get a bit more detail than I did last time. Then we're going to come back in part two, get the body painted up, get all the decals on and do all the finishing touches. There is two people in this one. I've not painted people this big before. So I'm going to do these over the course of the two videos. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use them or not at the end. We'll see how well they turn out. But fingers crossed, they'll look alright in that. We'll have a little look at the instructions, because I do like a Tamiya instruction. They're really well laid out. Nice and clear in that. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. Paint codes are all in the right places. There's not 50 arrows pointing everywhere. I have downloaded them from ScaleMates, so I can zoom in places if I need to. And fantastic. My paint choices for the interior and the floor pan, I'm going to be sticking with the Valero stuff. I've got some metallics and I've got whites and all that and blacks. I'm going to use a darker primer on the interior and the people. But the body, I've managed to get myself the proper paints, the Tamiya paints. I've never used Tamiya paints before, so it'll be a first time for us. But I've got the yellow and the black for the body. I am going to use a Valero white for the white bits and that. But that's alright. So right, grab yourself a cuppa, put your feet up, and let's see this thing start to come together. Fantastic. And that's the first part complete. We've managed to get the floor pan and the interior built up, and apart from going down a little rabbit hole with the dashboard and a little breakage on the air roll cage, everything's gone together pretty well. I've kept the underneath pretty basic, just done the silver floor pan here and the gearbox and a little bit of the exhaust. The interior, there's some odd colour choices. I thought it was a bit wrong, but apparently it's near enough right. There's a different colour seat, a red seat for the driver, blue seat for the co-driver, and all the carpets are blue in that, fantastic. But the dashboard, absolute nightmare. I painted it black, masked it all up nicely in that, and I made the schoolboy error of trying to spray yellow onto black, and it just ended up a right mess. I find yellow paint really hard to spray paint anyway, but I just made it 10 times worse. But I faffed about with it for a bit, tried priming it white and doing it again. Didn't quite work for us, so I've painted it all black, and I think it looks alright. I've managed to get the dials on, fantastic. There's a little orange decal on the steering wheel here. I'm not sure what that's all about, but fantastic. This red on the door card's a little bit brighter than the seats. But I'm not really fussed because I don't think you're going to see much of it anyway once it's in the car. But the blue one's pretty dull and the red one's pretty dull. I think it would look worse if that was bright and that was dull, so I'm just going to leave it as it is and it looks alright. I've had a good go at the driver and the co-driver. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use them yet or not. I'm going to keep going in there, part 2. and see what I end up with in the end. Well, in part 2 we're going to come back and it's all going to be about getting some paint on the body. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Valero white on the roof and that. I'm going up the model shop at the weekend anyway, so I might put it on hold till then and get the Tamiya white, the same ones as these. So hopefully it all matches up nicely in that. So if you like the video, hit likes, hit subscribes, do all the YouTubey stuff for us. Like I say, I'm not a professional on out. I'm just having a go, trying to get better one model at a time. Hopefully you can join us for part 2 when we start seeing this thing come together properly and that. Fantastic. See you later.